G'day YouTube, Warbles on a lot here. Look at that, 38 kilometre trip to town today. It's 10 to 5 in the afternoon. Shadow horizon is about to hit the panels. 674 watts going in out of a possible 880 from those panels. So what we are watching is the Talaria Sting L1E getting its very first feed of sunlight. And if you look at the tree shadow, the solar panel has got no trees on it yet. And the angling of the dangling means that the shadow from that panel is not yet hitting that panel by the time the tree shadow is about to hit this panel. And we're still looking at, I'll show that, 688 watts. And if I walk out and stick my head on there, 448. Move my head away, 720. That's a horsepower. As the sun comes out from the cloud behind the trees and the tree shadow is just about to hit and the batteries are full. Right, it's a 24 volt system. What are we looking at there? 25 volts. Come on, you bugger of a thing. Will you please show what I'm trying to show? 25 volts, 696. So yeah, six minutes to 5 daylight saving time, so that's kind of like 4 o'clock in the afternoon. So 8 o'clock to 4 o'clock, these things can get pretty close to perpendicular sunlight. I mean, it's not perpendicular at the moment. It'll be 15 degrees off perpendicular because it would have been perpendicular at 3 o'clock local apparent time. I've got to say I'm bloody happy with this. I really am. 1,998 kilometres before I left to go to town today. 2,036 kilometres when I got back, so I put 38 kilometres on the odometer. 2,000 kilometres at 40 kilometres an hour. Just I've got something like 50 hours riding on this thing, which has been being fed by a 3,000 watt generator, which uses 800 mils of petrol per hour. So I've probably used 80 litres of petrol. Getting almost enough hours on the electric motorbike that if I was doing it in a Cessna 150, I could nearly have a private pilot's licence with 54 hours as an unrestricted PPL. And somebody with 54 hours and an unrestricted private pilot's licence is called a raw beginner, an absolute novice. So I am now pretty much qualified to call myself a novice on an electric truck chaser, a Talaria Sting L1E, which is now actually coherently being fed sunlight. And it's only, well, I think it was $8,000 for the motorbike, $7,000 to buy it, $500 to register it, $500 to have it delivered here, $8,000 for the equipment, $1,000 for the installation costs, brings us to $9,000, and then 10% GST brings us to $9,900. And I got a quote a year ago and gave them a $1,000 deposit. Inflation can go to buggery. They only want another $9,000 from me, so I held the price by getting a quote and paying the deposit. And I'm pretty pleased with that. Pretty pleased with that. I had a really enjoyable ride to town, knowing that I was coming home to fill up the battery with sunlight, no petrol burn. Might have cost me $20,000 near enough to be able to do it, but hey, I inherited the money from my father's estate, and I think he would be pretty well on board with this. Out of all the things a spendthrift son could do with the money, I don't think he'd be pissed off with this. Might be wrong. I think he'd probably even enjoy the $11,000 upgrade to the $6,000 firefighting system. Don't know. Haven't talked to him for 42 years because that's how long he's been dead. And yeah, I got my share of his estate last year. Warbles on a lot to YouTube. I'm bloody enjoying it. And we've still got 430 watts as the panels are in half shade. Ciao.